Good morning and welcome everybody to my channel. My name is Jakub Vaniš and today I'm gonna be talking about my hands-on experience, the very first hands-on experience with Apple Vision Pro. It's a product that I've been really looking forward to testing, and yeah, I got a chance to play with it for a couple hours actually. I never thought that this would happen here in the heart of Europe in Czech Republic, but I have some experience that I want to share with you guys. So buckle up and let's go right into things. So first of all, I would say that the form factor of this device, and you can see some of these images and some of these videos that I recorded while using it, is brilliant. I know that a lot of people were also, hating on, let's say, the design of it, or that bag that comes with this, as a protective device. I think it's pretty sweet. It's not that heavy, it's not that bulky, it's nothing too big. Of course, you need to bear in mind that you have a headset that is almost $4,000, and you want to protect it. So the form factor was actually quite good. First thing that you realize when you put it on is an incredible resolution. Like really, this is super crisp resolution. Best display in any VR. I've tried many of them. I also own PSVR 2, the PlayStation's virtual reality headset. And yeah, this is something else. This is really something that is so incredibly sharp. So I would say, this is one of the advantages. Like this is that OLED display is really super nice, and really you want to look at the images in this display. The other thing that I wanted to mention is about control. So using your eyes to control is really awesome. However, it takes time to get used to it. Especially, in the beginning, I got a headset from somebody else and they have it locked. There is a PIN code that you need to enter. And the way you do it is either you poke into the display, or or into the space in front of you, or you basically focus on numbers that you want to select, and then you just pinch to select them. And I didn't really have issues, but we were testing it with like maybe 20 or 30 people all together in the day, and yeah, most of them were really struggling with this first thing. Even if the PIN code was something like, I don't know, 4 zeros or something like this, it was difficult for them to actually put it in. So that's one thing that I would mention, how difficult it is probably for a lot of people, to get used to this. And for me specifically, putting these numbers in, I realized already in the first 2 seconds that you need to rewire your brain a little bit, because I knew I want to select these numbers, but I was already looking at something else, and therefore I was not selecting them. So you really need to just focus on looking at a specific thing that you want to select. I think it will become second nature after a few hours of usage, maybe even after a few minutes, but that is something that took me out a little bit. One thing that I can say, comparing to any other headsets that we have now, is this one doesn't require, that hunt for a specific sweet spot. My PSVR has super tiny sweet spot, and it takes quite some time to adjust it on your face to find out where exactly it is, so you have the best type of experience. This one, you just put it on and it just worked. It was just all sharp. You didn't need to adjust or even calibrate much. And if you needed to do calibration, it took like 30 seconds or something like that, but that was incredible. That I think Apple really nailed, because sweet spot hunting is very difficult for a lot of people. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the pass-through. So I remember from the initial reviews, everybody was praising the pass-through, and they were basically saying, yeah, you can ski with this, and you can cook with this, and you can, I don't know, read newspapers through this. And yeah, I think it was too overhyped, to be honest. It's not really like that. It's you definitely know that you're looking through cameras that are probably similar level to your iPhone, with the difference that iPhone has kind of the advantage that it can post-process, change it up and make it a little bit nicer and better. In here, you need zero latency, otherwise you would get sick, like dizziness immediately. So it needs almost as close as possible to zero latency. And in order to do that, you just basically everything around you is a little bit less bright. It is a little bit like fuzzy. I wouldn't say grainy, but yeah, it's less sharp, and you can the most or the best example for doing this is looking at like grass or leaves or on the trees, etc. You see clearly a difference between the real world and this. And especially if you're in that headset for about an hour or something like that, you take it out, only then you realize, oh my god, that headset was taking out quite a lot of brightness that is outside, and it's like so much brighter when you take it out. And it feels really like, some people said, looking out through like ski goggles. So it has a limited field of view and you can feel it, but for sure you can function with it. You can, walk around with this, you will not hit into objects, etc. It's functional, but do you want to wear it all the time? Definitely not. Some people were also saying that it's heavy. I don't think it's that heavy. I think, the build is very nice quality, especially with that strap that goes over your head. I think you can really, have quite some long work session. I didn't feel any fatigue whatsoever, or any eye strain. So that is actually quite good. But I would say it's really difficult for some non-tech savvy people, to use this and to get used to just the controls of it. What was the most impressive for me were super easy and simple use cases. Actually, just like opening photos, or maybe opening a browser window like Safari and just browsing the internet, because you can make that window as big as you want. Really, I had it, 5 times 10 meters big in front of me, and it's just massive. You can walk up to it and the letters suddenly become like 50 centimeters. Really, really incredible stuff. And this is actually pretty good demonstration of how good that display is, because everything that was replicated in the display that was basically AR, that was super sharp, 4K resolution, incredibly sharp, nice, beautiful image. But the pass-through, that was behind it, you could see that was fuzzy, or a little bit blurry. And there you see that big difference between the replicated world through the cameras and the actual artificial world that this headset was producing. There are not that many things that make you sick. I know that when I first purchased my PSVR, it made me sick, almost immediately, because playing games is hard and you fight with your brain. You need to get used to it, and that's quite some tough for some people, because that dizziness stays with you for even sometimes a couple days. So it's it's a big hurdle. Not with this one though. Like, I didn't feel sick, and out of those 20-30 people that were testing it, they didn't feel any sickness. Which I think is great, though I found one case where you can get sick, and you can trick your brain into getting sick almost immediately, and that's when you turn on the camera and you can basically like record or take pictures or record videos that are like 3D immersive videos. So if you do that, and if you walk around while doing that, recording this 3D video, great, potential memory for you. But if you then stand up and just watch it while standing, your brain seeing your image, your hands, and your own surroundings, moving around, just, it messes it up a lot. And I felt sick after like 10 seconds of doing that. So I would not recommend to do it. And I don't know what they can do to actually ease on that effect. I would say that there are not that many apps available at this moment. This headset is only gonna be as good as the applications for it and as what developers actually develop for this. At the moment, the biggest names like even YouTube or Netflix are not there. It's more of a consumption device, so it's a pity. I don't think it's really worth it yet. And that brings me to a question: would I buy it right now? For this amount of money? And even as a tech geek, even as a person that loves almost everything that Apple produces, I would not spend this much money on this at all. Like, really, this is close to $4,000. I don't really see a use for it. It's like an iPad that is glued to your eyes, and I don't see a use for iPad in my let's say in my productivity flow whatsoever, even for just relaxing. So I think it will need to get into a way cheaper level, or a different form factor. And I think what actually Apple is realizing, because they are selling them now in US only, and they will start selling those in I think like 12 different countries. Closest to me is Germany, in July, I believe, July or August. So very soon they will start selling them. Probably this was not the plan since the beginning, but they see that there is close to zero demand. Nobody wants to pay this much money for it. So Now they want to spread it. But apparently, according to the rumors, they were supposed to create a second version of this Apple Vision Pro 2 already next year, and they are not. They scraped the idea, and yeah, so maybe it will come in 2026, by the end of 2026, even later, because their plans are now to focus on the cheaper device that can really be more mass market, oriented. And honestly speaking, I don't really see this becoming mainstream anytime soon, because I can't see that many people. I can't imagine that many people be just walking around with these key goggles and use it, instead of their MacBooks and phones, etc. That's just. I think that future is still quite some time ahead until we reach the time when this has a form factor of like sunglasses, and it has perfect displays, AR, replication of everything. And that future is what, maybe 5 at least, I think, probably 5 to 10 years away. So yeah, it will take some time. Is it the future? Yes, it is the future. This is where we're heading for sure. This will sometime, become the successor of iPhone, but it is still far away, guys. So don't throw away your phones just yet. If you have a chance, to test it out somewhere in an Apple store, definitely do so. I think you will be really impressed. But as a user of other VR headsets, I have to admit I was expecting more. I was really hyped up, and this is great. This is probably the best, but it's not like a huge revolution just yet. We will have to wait for this. So yeah, this has been my first impressions, hands-on, experience with Apple Vision Pro. Let me know, if you tried it yourself. What do you think about it? I would really like to hear your opinion. Otherwise, if you like this type of content, hit a like or a subscribe button. That would help me out a lot. And yeah, I wish you an amazing day. Thank you and bye-bye.